With one of their picks in the 6th round, the Ravens selected Aeneas Peebles, defensive tackle out of Virginia Tech. Aeneas is 6 foot tall, 282 pounds, with 31 3/8-inch arms. I think it's very important that in this video I try to highlight Aeneas' play both at Duke and at Virginia Tech. He's asked to perform very different duties and play in very different defenses. Beginning at Virginia Tech at 3 technique, he's a very disruptive player, plays with consistently good pad level, and not just because he's 6 foot tall. Explosive off the ball, plays with great leverage, great power. I'm not sure what an offense is supposed to do with a guy that beats a double team block and then blows up 2 pullers and then makes the play in the backfield. I'm going to go back and forth between Virginia Tech and Duke. Very important to point out that he's being asked to do very different things at the 2 different universities. So I want to point out how quickly he determines this play direction. You see the guard pulling outside. You see the tackle coming to get him. He recognizes this. Look how quickly he gets off the line, leaves the tackle whiffing at air, penetrates in the back, again blows up this pull, gets off, and gets in on the tackle. I think it's important when we assess him as a player to watch him at both schools. At nose tackle, take a look at this flatline burst off the ball, swims the center, changes the line of scrimmage, splits that double team. You'll notice that he's got a good feel for when the quarterback leaves the pocket, and then a good burst here to close and pick up the sack with a big hit. Back to Duke, he's asked to do a lot more in the way of reading at Duke than he was ever asked to do at Virginia Tech, just inside the guard. And what you see here is he's got a great feel for reading the flow of the offensive line, reads the blocks going away, the outside run, and the stretch steps. Good little burst off that plant inside, beats the center coming over to get him, and then watch him slap the hands aside of the tackle and make this play. Again, at 2-eye, really has a knack for just destroying double team blocks and allowing linebackers to float right around the line of scrimmage without guards and centers being able to reach them at the second level. Very low and fast off the football, changing the line of scrimmage, forcing the back to bounce this. This is one of my favorite plays. This is Duke at Notre Dame. Again at 2-eye. Again, just great leverage off the ball, engaging the guard. Notice how he presses the guard out, closing up a gap and a half, his body inside, and then sheds him and gets in on the play. Virginia Tech would have linebackers switch gaps with him all the time based on his alignment. Aeneas is going to crash through V-gap here. Really has this sort of ability to slip and power his way through gaps. You see that here, making a tackle in the backfield. At Duke, he is asked with far more frequency to hold up linemen, read the backfield, and get off the block. We see that here at 2-eye. Again, just firing off the football, changing the line of scrimmage. He's going to pull this guy a full gap down the line, reading the backfield, blowing up this lead block, just so disruptive. Man, this is a great play here. Now watch. Watch him make this read. Linebackers running free. Back tries to cut it outside of the linebacker. He's there waiting to pick it up. He's firing off the football. Really regularly shows up, blowing up double teams, changing the line of scrimmage. Here he gets the center and the guard coming to get him right off the ball, attacking the guy he's shaded on, changing the line of scrimmage. And this is key. You see the linebacker able to come downhill, get in that gap, and the back reads that. Once this block comes off to pick up the linebacker, Aeneas senses that, feels that, gets in that gap, and helps to bring the ball carrier down. Big mistake of DaCosta not picking up a nose tackle in this draft. I don't see Aeneas as a nose tackle at all. I see him as a classic 3-tech. It was said in a post-draft press conference they view him as a sub-rusher. I'd like to see him on the field more than that in rotation. I do think that his length could be an issue at times, affecting his ability to get off blocks. I think that lack of length can show up particularly on wide zone plays. Sometimes he plays with his chest instead of his hands. You see that here. I'll say it again, there's really no excuse for having 11 picks in the deepest D-line draft in memory and not coming out of it with more help on the defensive line, in particular at the nose tackle position. All in all, you have to say that Aeneas represents great value where they got him, and I think that he is probably one of their better picks. I've seen this spin move 3 or 4 times. He gets his man off the ball, chops the outside arm, spin, and traps that arm, and finishes.